Hey everyone, Tammy Davis, and I appreciate you joining in today on this next discussion on the immune system. And the reason this comes into being today is I frequently talk to people, and the very first thing, or one of the very first things that they tell me is when they're sharing their story with somebody else, whether it be a friend or a colleague or whatever, and the person says, well, I actually had a similar situation and this is what I did. And for some reason that just gets to me, because while the immune system is an incredibly complex system, and according to research, it is the most diverse genetic complex on the planet. In other words, your immune system is yours, and it's not like anybody else's, is what I'm getting at. That is, it's a very complicated complex, because, and it is a complex because we have two levels of the system. There's the innate, which is what keeps us protected from immediate threats, such as bacteria, parasites, viruses, and so forth. Okay, so that's where the macrophages and the histamine get released. Now, the challenge with that is excessive levels of macrophages will actually interfere with, or they actually suppress the release of iron. And I have a sneaking suspicion that many people have an overactive innate immune system because we are consistently exposed to so many different viruses and bacteria that the body is constantly trying to keep us protected. So hence the reason why we have such a high number of people that struggle with fatigue. That said, and we'll get back to that in just a minute, the adaptive immune system is where the immunoglobulins reside. And any one of us can have high, there's 5 different immunoglobulins, and we can have some of them be at normal levels. Maybe one could be high, another one could be low. So where your system is depends really on you. This is the reason why I say that we really can't be making suggestions for the immune system to the degree that we are, because the challenge that we're facing is, just think about it, if we have higher levels of parasites and viruses and bacteria, and the viruses and bacteria are becoming more aggressive because they're having to protect themselves from the medications that we're producing, we're going to have a chronically active innate immune system. And so ultimately, we're going to be tired. We're going to be depleted. And if we're taking things that stimulate the immune system, and I mean, because let's face it, guys, if we're sick, okay, we have the runny nose and the watery eyes, and whatever else accompanies the symptoms of a potential infection. If you're sick, you're in a healing crisis. The innate immune system does not need to be stimulated any further. Okay, it does not. I get that that's the way we're currently doing things, but we really don't need to go to that degree because the immune system is already active. Okay, you're already being protected, and there's no telling how these immune stimulants we have available, meaning herbs and so forth, even oils, there's no telling at what level they're affecting your adaptive immune system, okay? Because again, your adaptive immune system is going to be like nobody else's. Maybe there's somebody else on the planet with something similar, but it's yours. And science has been able to determine this through countless studies over decades. So it's not advisable. I'm saying right here and right now, it's not advisable to take an immune stimulant, especially if and I get it. If the kids are sick or you're not feeling good and there's work to be done, we need to figure out a way to feel better so that we can be productive and we can help our kids feel better faster, right? I want to just say this. If you have a cold and you have the symptoms of a cold, you were already sick at least 7 days prior. Same thing goes for chickenpox. These things are active in our body. They're actually causing, leading to the healing crisis. So when we are in full flare-up, we're in the healing crisis and we're just basically on the tail end of it. The immune system does not need a kick in the ass because it's maybe tired, but it doesn't need any more help. It's been working really, really hard. So what do? Well, in my last video, I talked about calcium being a trigger that actually triggers an immune reaction. So first and foremost, stop taking calcium supplements. You're getting plenty of calcium in your foods, and especially if you're consuming superfoods and greens, those have plenty of calcium in them. You don't need, but there again, it comes down to how the body is assimilating the foods that you're eating. Because keep in mind, digestion, if you didn't already know me by now, that's where I'm going, is digestion is not just the way we break down our foods and, for processing. It takes it from large particle down into molecular size that can be utilized by the cells. So it starts in the mouth and digestion ends at the cell level. So it's how everything goes in between that process, okay? And basically, if we are constantly under attack with bacteria and viruses and so forth, and we can't escape them, our bodies are predominantly bacteria. The world has millions upon millions of bacteria, so we're constantly being exposed to it. And so the body is continually trying to keep us protected from that, then it's under stress, okay? And when we're under stress, the chemistry of the body changes for survival, which means the chemicals that are used in the digestive process are now being used for something else. Therefore, we are no longer breaking down carbs, fats, and proteins effectively. Oh, okay, so that's already a problem. And then if the chemistry is changed, then the way the cells are using nutrients is altered as well, because different chemicals require different nutrients for function. So now you already have a different assimilation of nutrients at the cell level. So that is one of the big reasons why I'm an advocate for utilizing essential oils, because they will actually help facilitate all of that. There's other things that we can be doing to strengthen the digestive system, and it does not just include probiotics. I'm a big advocate for digestive enzymes, and I'm very big advocate for superfoods, such things like spirulina. I mean, a good quality spirulina is probably your best combat against a lot of this. One of the things that I wanted to also say is, with regards to the immune system, is through the Human Genome Project, they were able to identify the fact that the human immune system was significantly altered during the time of the Black Plague, and that imprint in change remains evident in the human immune system today. That is part of the reason why we have such a diverse immune system. And again, it's the reason why I advocate for bioindividuality and why it's absolutely necessary to address the individual, but that's what bioindividuality is, but actually address the immune issues independently. We can't be suggesting that what I did for me, my fatigue and my rash, and I'm just pulling things up right now, not necessarily my things, but I'm just thinking along the terms of, we try to compare, and it makes sense, right? I do get it, that we're trying to help one another. So I'm not bad-mouthing anybody and saying, please don't help one another. But if you're going to help somebody through something, and I applaud you, if you found something that supported you, then I'm really happy, because that's the whole point to my being here, is to help people be well and empower wellness, more importantly. So if you found something that worked for you, yay. That doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. And if somebody is coming to you and saying, this is what I did, take into consideration what they're suggesting, but don't be attached to it working for you. It may not work for you. And when I say don't be attached to it working, because when we become attached, we then become disappointed if it doesn't work. So the best advice that I have for the immune system, it's really about helping to stabilize it. Okay, and so we have a lot of options for stimulating, and of course, there's a lot of ways that we can suppress it through immunosuppressants. And when you take an immunosuppressant, that just that just opens you up for even more potential sickness. So what I want to say is the best approach that you can do for yourself and for anybody else is to really focus on the digestive system, because keep in mind, the digestion is altered because the chemistry has changed. The chemicals that are used for digestion are now being used for survival and protection, okay? So we have to get our digestive system back on track. And yes, there's a lot of products out there. There's a lot of people promoting digestion, but like I said, it starts in the mouth and it ends at the cell level. So there's a lot of activity that has to happen in between. Again, I'm going to list out some essential oils that would be advisable, that would be okay if combined with medications. That would be cilantro, I got to think here. Cilantro is a good one. I know I'm just thinking when I kind of threw a hitch in this when I said that would be good with medications as well. I would suggest patchouli. So cilantro, patchouli, bear with me here, tarragon, and carrot seed. No. Yeah, carrot seed. And the reason for those is because it helps to nourish the liver. We're looking at nourishing the liver because if you're taking medications and the liver does need support, so that's part of the digestive process. So those particular oils, okay, so I said carrot seed, tarragon, patchouli, and cilantro would be good recommendations for getting your digestive system kind of going again, kind of helping to soothe the body as well, because it is also stressed. And like I said, and the whole idea here also, what we want to do is nourish the liver. Now I've mentioned bone broth in the past. Bone broth is exceptional for the digestive system. Ginger root is as well. Again, that is kind of, you got to be careful with that one when it comes to using medications. So use caution with that one. Again, definitely digestive enzymes is another good one. Butter, coconut oil. Coconut oil is good because coconut oil actually it feeds the bacteria in the bowels. So that's a good thing. Butter is really good for the liver, as is olive oil, walnuts, avocados, beets, and I'm trying to think what else. Hemp seeds would be good, very good for the digestive system. So these are some ideas that would begin to strengthen and feed you, provide you with the minerals that you need. And if you include those particular types of essential oils, you're off to a good start. Okay, those would not be all the ones that I would work with. Again, beyond that, there's going to be someone I would have to know more about what was going on with the individual in order to really, but again, when we start to include essential oils, keep in mind they're actually helping to modify genetic expression so that they're relieving cell stress, basically is what they're doing, and they're helping to redirect the chemistry so that the information for what nutrients are necessary, the cells actually start to get different nutrients so that we don't have such an overactive and imbalanced system, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, walnuts, avocados, beets, butter, olive oil. The other thing, before, I mentioned earlier, stop taking calcium supplements. And that's part of the reason for the liver also is because we are exposed to so many xenoestrogens. And xenoestrogens and phytoestrogens act like estrogen in the body. Estrogen does activate the immune system. But here's the thing, guys. Those particular chemicals, whether it's a xenoestrogen or a phytoestrogen, do not show up in blood tests. So if you even were to take a test to see where your estrogen levels were, it's not going to register as too high because they don't show up. So those things actually do also activate the immune system. And that is another reason why I was using a little bit of caution with the oils, and why I also suggested that you nourish the liver, because the liver is responsible for converting and clearing chemicals, okay? And so if we nourish the liver, if we actually focus on that, you are helping your body eliminate the potential toxicity of these xenoestrogens. And again, they're everywhere. And so this is very advisable for children as well. Okay, so that is really what I wanted to say about all of that. So the oils, again, tarragon, cilantro, carrot seed, and patchouli. I know it sounds like a strange mix, but that would be a really good digestive blend to start with. The other one, like I said, with all the foods to nourish the liver, I'll include a document that I've done once before for a course that I did that kind of lists some things that you could do for nourishing the liver as well. And in case you don't know who I am, if you've gotten this far and are wanting to know a little bit more about me, my background is in pharmacology, and I am considered a phytotherapist. My primary focus of study is phytochemicals, and the study of phytochemicals and the development of drugs and their effect on the human body. That's my primary focus. And I do have also a background in nutrition, but not nutrition in the sense that I'm going to tell you what kind of diet to eat. It's more about why, what particular foods are going to be beneficial for the body and really help to restore. I'm a big believer in nature, combining nature. And I did start out as an aromatherapist, but I now am a highly qualified phytotherapist and health educator, as you can tell here. So on that note, I do now take insurance. I have been approved to take insurance. So if you or somebody you know would like some consulting with me, I am available, and you can hit me up on Synergessence.com. My email is Tammy@Synergessence.com. You're welcome to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, which is @TammyDavis8 on both accounts. And until then, I look forward to hearing, just thanks for watching. And I do look forward to hearing from you, and I hope all is well in your world. And I really appreciate you, and I really want people to, like I said, I really want to empower wellness. So let me know how I can help you. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.